MegaPowers explode here at Wrestlemania 5.
Welcome to the Mr. Fundamental Podcast. I'm your host, Earnestly, Christian. We're going to have a special podcast today. We're going to be looking back 30 years later. Well, actually, we are 30 years later from the MegaPowers. Now, some of you guys may not know this, but I am a diehard wrestling fan. However, I'm only an old school guy, so I don't necessarily get into I haven't watched wrestling in probably about 17 years in terms of like the current stuff. Like the last time I watched the WWF was probably after the Rock vs. Hogan Icon match. So we're gonna look back 30 years ago, exactly 30 years ago this week, with WrestleMania 5 when MegaPowers exploded. We're gonna go through the storyline of MegaPowers, and to do that with me today, our good friend of the podcast, Rey Moralde, the host of the Rey-Rey Is Fundamental Podcast. Although you have not done a podcast in quite a while, Ray. What's going on with that?
Freak out!
Yeah.
Yeah, just having a hiatus, just taking a step back right now. But
okay.
I'm getting everything together by this summer. So yeah, just watch out for it. It'll be back.
Oh yeah, okay. We miss you. Just letting you know. I mean, I don't know if you know that. we miss you.
I appreciate it.
We miss you on these streets, as they say, on these streets. All right, so I'm really glad you. I got a lot of friends who love wrestling. Old school today, whatever. But it's hard to find people who actually know the stuff from the era that I prefer the most. I am a Hulkamania era diehard. Anything from 85, 92, I am all over that. I think the MegaPowers storyline with Hogan, Macho, and Elizabeth is, to me, personally, even more so than the Austin McMahon storyline, is my favorite.
It's really rare when you have a storyline that goes more than a year. And this one spans nearly 2 years, really.
Yes.
And if you go beyond that, really, they still go all the way to WCW anyway. They have such a long story history. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's crazy how they're so connected.
What's funny is that, we always say Mania 5 was the pinnacle. It technically went past Mania 5. There was actually, Macho and Hogan, Hogan had Beefcake and Macho had Zeus in a tag team in the SummerSlam 89 matchup. And it even fought again a year later in the main event in 1990. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't necessarily the MegaPowers storyline. It was just one of those things where Macho was the number one contender, Hogan was the champion. Boom, here we go.
It wasn't really the focus. And I still remember that. I just got to America when this happened, but they had No Holds Barred the match.
Yes.
After they showed No Holds Barred the movie on pay-per-view. Yeah, we watched it then.
Are you a fan of No Holds Barred the movie?
I like his campiness for sure. You know me, I like awful things. So
Rip. I hope he did some terrible shows and terrible movies, dude. The only show I actually liked that he did was Thunder in Paradise. That's it.
I need to get a hold of the DVD set or something like that. It's so out there, right? I have no idea.
Go on eBay.
Yeah,
eBay. All right, so the MegaPower exploded on April 2nd, 1989. But the MegaPowers, there was never really an official formation of the MegaPowers, really, honestly. This kind of happened over time, over some events. Now, it's funny because Hogan and Savage, prior to becoming the MegaPowers unofficially in October 87 at Saturday Night's Main Event, they were rivals. They actually had matches in 1986, where when Hogan was the champion, Macho was the Intercontinental champion. Savage actually beat him twice by countout. Whatever. And they were rivals. Hogan was like, Hulk who? That was the whole thing, I'm the Intercontinental champion, but as one step to the top. And that's right. Hogan, Hulk who. He actually had a Hulk who t-shirt. Now, what's fascinating about this, too, this is kind of what, Savage, to me, is so influential for me, personally. Mm-hmm. Is that, so Savage, obviously we know about the Mania 3 match with Steamboat. Mm-hmm. Savage is still a heel at this point, okay?
Yeah.
But you're starting to see momentum of people liking, even though he's a heel, he has a lot of fans. He has fans. Right. People like him. He loses the title to Steamboat in Mania 3 as a heel, and yet that actually, in some ways, propelled him to what would happen from that point at Mania 3 to Mania 4 winning the title as a babyface. So between Mania 3, which is in March of 87, leading up to the MegaPowers unofficially forming in October, you start seeing this sort of change where Macho becomes slowly from a heel to a face naturally because of the crowd support he's getting. And it gets bigger and bigger every month.
I think this is when, I'm not sure if people were smart back then in 87, but like they really appreciated his matches.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's like even today, 32 years after WrestleMania 3, people are still talking about that match as the greatest of all time.
Yes.
It's crazy. 32 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing to me. And it still holds up today. Like I watched it a few months ago. That match still holds today. And I really think that, obviously having Elizabeth in your corner will help get crowd support because, she's the one that everyone wants to, go out to prom with or whatever, that sort of thing, right? Like she's a good girl,
right.
And they want Savage to treat her right and everything. So yeah, that definitely helped too.
You're right. Little Liz angle did help because Liz wasn't your typical heel manager. Because even though when Savage was a heel, Liz was still very likable. She was still
very much so.
The somber, puppy dog. You're not calling her a puppy dog, but I'm saying that she had that. You still liked her. You know what I mean? To the point where you almost want her not to be with Macho. Eventually, I said between March and October '87, you start seeing that change. Mm-hmm. And then really, he became a face officially October '87, starting main event. Now, here's the setup here. Macho, no longer the champion, no longer the Intercontinental champion. Honky wins it in the summer of '87. Macho wants his belt back.
Right.
The fight between him and Honky Top Man.
Yes.
And, of course, he's about to beat him in the match. And then the Hart Foundation, of course, came in and interrupted the match. And there you go. Honky pushes Liz on the floor. Honky, of course, takes a guitar over Macho's head. Liz goes backstage and brings out Hogan. All of a sudden, Hogan comes out, beats the crap out of the Foundation, beats the crap out of Honky. Macho comes out. They have a little, like, oh, my God, who are you? This kind of thing, And then Hogan, Savage puts his hand out to a handshake. The first handshake on the MegaPowers. They go backstage, and they have the whole cocaine cocaine-filled peering of the, unbelievable. I don't know what you felt out there right there. Now,
can we go back to...
Go ahead.
I just want to say, can we go back to Hulk Hogan, like when he first comes out to help Savage? His over-the-top mannerisms on his face is fantastic.
Oh, it's great. He's like going around like, wait, what do you pull me for? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
he's so over the top. It's great.
Was messed up. Was like, Hogan's a horrible actor, for the record.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I just appreciate his over the topness.
Yeah. No, so like he's like looking around, like, oh, so what made you want to help Savage all of a sudden? Like you guys are enemies, and then all of a sudden you guys are friends again. It's weird, but I guess Hogan felt the energy, blew my 24-inch guns out. I don't know, whatever, But
to be fair, if Elizabeth asked you to come out and help someone, like, would you do it? I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's Elizabeth.
I don't know permission from Elizabeth. Come on now. So obviously,
exactly.
So this is the official forming of the MegaPowers, unofficial, whatever, because it was never really official, but the MegaPowers, that kind of thing. So the next couple months, of course, between October, November, December, January, Savage and Honky going at it, off and on, whatever. Savage does not get the belt back yet. At that point, Hogan's still a champion. Then there's the main event, the big event on NBC, which the ratings were through the roof, by the way, for this event. Hogan loses the title to Andre that night. After 4 years, loses the title to Andre. 4 years, 4 months. 4 years, 1 month. But also, Macho, now he beats Honky, but again, no title.
Right.
But to me, this is the event that, even though I said October '87 was the official face turn, he solidified that on this event by putting Liz on the shoulders for the first time.
Yeah, that's a signature moment, which she would do in future events later on.
Yes,
so
correct.
Yeah. Again, let's go back to Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan. How much
his promo after the main event, after losing the title, is fantastic.
Ray,
the plastic surgery. When did you get the plastic surgery?
Ray, I was just going to ask you, Ray, how much money did you spend on plastic surgery? How much money did you spend on it?
I have no idea. How much would it be back then? 88. That's
You know what's funny? 88. I believed it too when he said that. Yeah. It's surgery. You also
Oh man, that's so great.
It was great.
Now,
here's the funny thing about this though. If you are a person, I was 8 years old. I don't understand, if it's real or not at this point still. But if let's say I'm 18 at this point and I'm watching this stuff. I'm assuming that the WWF right now is pushing Macho more and more. It seems legitimate now that Hogan's on the side now. Vince always wants a face to be a champion.
Yeah.
It seems blatantly obvious that Macho's going to be the next guy. When it happens, I don't know. Mania 4, maybe down the event down the road, I don't know. But at this point, it seems kind of obvious that if you're an adult and follow the business, you know that there's something changing, and it seems that Macho is becoming the next guy behind Hogan. Now we don't know Hogan's leaving for a couple months to do No Holds Barred, but if you're an older person, you would assume that Macho is being positioned to be the next guy.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like Macho's also an over-top personality. He's not as big as Hogan, but
he's getting there.
Watching Macho's documentary on the WWE Network, he always wore those colorful outfits just to make himself look bigger than life, and it definitely worked. Yeah. So I mean, I can see him getting positioned for that. I mean, I didn't watch WWF at the time, but if I was watching it by that point, it's like something's going on here. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like there has to be a reason why Hogan lost.
Right. So. Right. Again, we don't know he's making movies. We just know that. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Right. So Macho's being positioned. You see this now. Now there's another Saturday main event that happens in March prior to Mania 4, where and it's kind of a precursor because Macho faces DiBiase, which actually becomes you'll see now 2 weeks later after this event they fight again. Whereas now Savage gets beat down by Andre because they bring out Andre to be his manager for the night. Yeah. Savage knocks down DiBiase, and then from behind Andre comes behind and beats the living shit out of him. Okay, right. To where it's now prompts again. Let's go backstage again. So obviously, if this is going backstage again, you know what's going to happen. He's Hogan. Yes, Hogan had just beaten the shit out of Harley Race that night, and now they bring out a chair this time because remember Hogan's pissed off at this point by Andre and DiBiase because he got screwed on the title the month before that, so he's trying to destroy them anyway. So again, MegaPowers, unite. Well, Macho was beat the fuck up, but Hogan comes out, chases Andre out of the ring, all that. So there you go. Nice setup. Again, seeds planted, and you see all the main characters already being formulated. You know that in this storyline, Andre will be part of this thing. Hogan obviously be part of this thing. Macho and DiBiase. That's definitely going to be the situation going forward and probably for a while.
Yes.
So this leads us down to Mania 4. Mania 4, of course, is the big tournament. Which, by the way, looking back, even though I love Mania 4, it was way too long.
Well, you're talking about WrestleMania 4 being long. Like, you should watch WrestleMania today. Like, it's going to be, 7 hours, basically. It's insane.
Dude, they had a match on there, the first round match between Rick Rude and Jake Snake Roberts. Remember, they were doing 15-minute time limits.
Yeah.
And they got double DQ'd there because no one pinned each other.
Yeah,
there were boos coming out of the arena on Trump Plaza.
I mean, at the time, it's like wrestling. Okay, people are complaining how wrestling is terrible today. No, wrestling is great. The mat work is great, but back in '88, it leaves a little to be desired. Looking back at that, heck, '97 had some bad wrestling.
'97, really? You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
You mean
you want to watch? Do you want to watch the Godwins? Well, do you want to watch?
Disco Inferno.
He was all right.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he was all right. But I'm talking about the lower card guys who were not who were big guys that were not good wrestlers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. So they got this tournament where Hogan and Andre double DQ second round. They got first round buys. Because they are number 1 seeds, because they are, the Patriots.
The champions.
The Patriots and Chiefs.
The Patriots. Oh, man.
But they both got double DQ'd. So, which means now we're going to have a new champion. We're going to have a new champion.
Right.
That's for the record.
Right.
Remember, by the way, people didn't know in the podcast, the title was vacant at this point after Mania. Andre lost the title, beat Hogan for the title. Surrendered the title to DiBiase. Jack Tucker says, no, we can't do that. Vacant title. This is why we have Mania 4.
He sold the championship, right?
I surrender the championship. That's what he said. He goes, I surrender the championship. Let's take DiBiase. So, we're going to have a new champion. Which now, the final of the night, again, like we just teased it a little couple minutes ago, DiBiase and Savage. Savage had to go through 4 guys. DiBiase, only 3. Because of Hogan and Andre, WDQ, when DiBiase won his second round match, he was able to skip the 3rd round. That
was smart. I'm sure that was definitely planned for DiBiase.
But again, if you're 18 years old, you're thinking, well, Macho is definitely the face here. He has to go through all the odds, the harder odds to win the title. Go through all four guys, including beating One Man Gang, for the record.
Yes.
Who later knows Akeem 3 months later.
God, that's another story for another time. Man.
Absolutely, Vince. I think Vince is low key racist, honestly.
I mean, come on, man.
Seriously. Yeah. Savage wins the title at Mania 4, as we all speculated. Hogan, of course, another Liz, go back to the locker room, bring out Hogan again. Like, really? Like, that's the only thing I can't stand. This is the third time she's done this in, like, 6 months. Like, there's no surprise anymore. Like, you're gonna get Hogan, obviously. Come on.
Yeah. We just know, man. Come on. We just know. There was, by the way, before we go on, there was a huge rumor. I think Bruce Pritchard shot this down. But there was a huge rumor that Savage was supposed to beat the Honky Tonk Man for the IC belt somewhere. But Honky Tonk Man, he was threatening to walk out, basically. So he kept the title, and to appease Savage, he gets the WWF title, and it was supposed to be DiBiase's championship at WrestleMania. It was
the main event show from February.
Yeah.
But Savage didn't win that fight, but by count out, not by...
But I'm just saying, like, that was the rumor that he was supposed to win the IC belt, but Honky threatened to walk out. And so to appease Savage later on, they just gave him the WWF championship.
Which is strange because... Right, DiBiase won the title at Mania 4. Which is strange because you assume Macho... Because Hogan already decided he's going to do the movie, like, late 87. So they're already positioning guys to be the next guy, and I guess DiBiase, but no one confirmed that yet, though. No one confirmed that.
Yeah. Bruce Pritchard shot it down. So
I think he's lying.
Maybe.
I think he's lying.
Maybe.
I think Savage was the next guy in line. Honestly, just saying. Anyway, Savage was the title at Mania 4. Again, help from Hogan once again with a chair.
Right.
And go figure. Hogan. I just thought about this too. So. The main event, 2 weeks prior to Mania 4, Hogan brings a chair out to scare Andre and DiBiase. Doesn't hit him, but scares him. And then actually uses the chair 2 weeks later over DiBiase for Macho to win the title. Again, obvious storylines, like teasing what's going to happen 2 weeks later.
Plant the seeds, man. Plant the seeds. And by the way, what a heel by Hogan. Terrible.
Oh, yeah, I was like, that's not real American-like.
What a good guy Hogan is.
We saw the seeds of Hollywood 8 years in the making.
Exactly.
Here's something that goes under the radar, too. Savage is the title. Savage is the champion at this point now. Hogan goes away for 3-4 months, whatever, do his movie. It's the shit movie, no bar. Macho at this point is riding high. He obviously has the title. He's riding high. I'll take anyone on, big, small, whatever. Yeah. Here comes Andre challenging Savage for the title from behind. This is on the I believe the is it Bell Love show? No, it was one of those side shows they do. Not Brother Love. It was
probably me, Gene Okerlund interviewing or whatever.
It was Craig the George.
Okay.
Craig the George. Right.
Okay.
DiBiase comes from behind, knocks Savage to the ground. Andre destroys Savage. All of a sudden, we have the situation where, there's a SummerSlam coming, the first ever SummerSlam. And Andre and DiBiase are going to be teams, the Mega Bucks. So who's going to be Macho's partner?
Gee.
Gee. Ray, tell the folks who's Macho's partner. Who you think might be Macho's partner in SummerSlam 88?
The Genius?
Oh my God. Lanny Poffo? Really?
It makes sense, right? We're brothers. Yeah,
I'm going to get my brother to help out. Yeah.
Throwing frisbees out to the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, about a week later, Hogan, they announces Hogan, of course. Hogan's back from doing this stupid movie, Stupid, dude. Which now leads us to August 1988, the first SummerSlam between the MegaPowers and the Mega Bucks. With Jesse Ventura's referee.
Of course, Jesse Ventura. I will always remember Jesse Ventura's line when Hogan was wrestling the Genius, and Genius was doing a back rake on Hulk Hogan. And Jesse Ventura was like, "Oh, he's wrestling on Hogan's level."
Yeah. That was the main event the year after that. That was in November 89.
Yeah.
Where, by the way, the Genius won that match.
He did.
By countout.
Yeah, I can never forget that line, though. It's just still hilarious.
Yeah. was that the night also that that's the night they destroyed his belt?
Right, yeah, when Perfect destroyed his belt, yeah.
Perfect. You, Mr. Perfect. You cut me to the bone, man.
Rest in peace, Kurt Hennig. We love you.
I never see Hogan so pissed off about some belt being destroyed that Vince had to pick for away. So, we're now at SummerSlam 88. Mega Powers, Mega Bucks. Incy, pincy, teeny, weeny, little polka dot skirt, maybe, Elizabeth. Secret weapon? I don't know.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we saw some Liz, a little provocative Liz, show some stuff, distract DiBiase and Andre. That was fun. Macho and Hogan go for the kill. And then, it's funny. No one makes mention of this at the end of the telecast. But you start seeing the first clues of dissension between the Mega Powers. You don't see it in the moment, but you probably don't notice in the moment. But Macho's here, the crowd, cheering to the crowd. Hogan and Elizabeth are hugging each other. You can see, if you're somebody that pays attention closely in the moment, you can see Macho react somewhat like stunned that Hogan and Liz are like hugging each other.
Yeah.
But in the moment, no one says anything about it on the telecast, none of the announcers. No one. It was like one of those things that was really quickly. But that was the first seed of dissension.
See, obviously, knowing what we know now, Savage is a psycho when it comes to Liz.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's common knowledge now.
Yeah.
But back then, we had no idea, obviously. So, but yeah, we see the seed planted at SummerSlam.
Here's my question, Ray. Was that Macho being really pissed off in real life in the moment, or was that on purpose? Because no one said a bleeping word about that moment. It took like 2 seconds, really. That's it.
Yeah. Probably both. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I mean, we all get jealous for 2 seconds when we see our crush or girlfriend get held by another man.
Right.
I know this way too well, being a single man. So, yeah, it definitely happens.
So, it's so quick. Like unless you really are tedious to watching all the details, you wouldn't notice it. But it doesn't. In hindsight, you can see it. But
definitely.
But the difference is no one acknowledges it. Okay, so Mega Powers are fine. They go and share the no dissension, whatever. So we say.
Yeah. Plus, the thing is, let me before we go on.
Yeah.
Love stories in wrestling unheard of in 1988.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
Unheard of. So you never see these love triangle things. Like, you never thought it could be a thing in wrestling. So, yeah, it's definitely uncharted waters at the time for WWF in 88.
Actually, we had one in 88. You might remember this one. Around the same time. But it wasn't a love story, though. It was Jake Roberts and Rick Rude.
Oh, right.
Cheryl Roberts.
Yeah.
But it was Rick Rude being a jerk to Roberts' wife. You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
That was a great storyline, actually.
That was great, yeah.
Should have gone longer, in my opinion. Should have gone a little longer, honestly, but whatever. So now we're going to move over to October 88. Macho's still champion. This is a Saturday Night Main Event. Hogan officially hires Liz as manager in his match as Haku. And this is the first acknowledgement of just if you watch the telecast, you hear Jesse Ventura say a little peculiar. I've never seen Macho without Liz without Macho.
Yeah,
that's the only seed. This is why this storyline is so great. It's not blatantly obvious in the moment that there's dissension possibly going on, but yet everybody around it, like the announcers, whatever, are starting to lay seeds, little seeds. Ventura saying on the telecast that a little peculiar, never seen Liz without Macho. He's hearing Hogan, and then you see Hogan win the match against Haku. Also, let's Liz in, with the, through the ropes, which Macho at that time was still not doing. He did one time, and that was in February. That was it. And then Hogan putting Liz on the shoulder and flexing and posing. Hogan must pose, of course, even with Liz. He must pose.
I think even a 10-year-old or 11-year-old who's discovering the wonders of crushes and, girls or whatever, they can see that seed. It's subtle, but they can see it.
It's very subtle, though, but this is the beauty of the storyline because, again, it's not obvious. Jesse puts it out there a little bit. A little peculiar. That's all we see. Nothing else. And then, of course, Hogan doing the Hogan thing. No one else addresses it, of course. Yeah.
And that's the thing that's the thing about today's WWE, is that subtlety, what the hell is that? They're blatantly obvious with what they're doing, and it's like we can see a storyline a mile away.
Right.
This one, they do it beautifully. It's like just little seeds planted.
It's so great. Great storytelling, man.
Yeah, long-term storytelling. And it helps that there were less shows on television back then for wrestling, but still, they did it beautifully.
Well, the less shows on television, the less shows, it made it easier to actually spread out the storyline as long as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
we
get to November 88 now. Saturday Night Main Event. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Survivor Series.
Survivor Series,
Second Survivor Series ever. MegaPowers, Hogan, Savage, alongside Hillbilly Jim, Hercules, and I believe, who was the fifth guy they had there? Hercules, Hillbilly Jim. Oh, Coco Beware. Yeah. They beat the team of the obviously Twin Towers. By the way, Akeem is here now. African Dream. By the way, I always on the network always when they do the intros for the teams on this match, I constantly rewind the beginning when Akeem's in the ring, moonwalking and like doing his whole thing in there and trying to be hip and all that. I always rewind that because it's funny as shit.
It is hilarious also that every time Akeem does the whole dancing thing, you can see him get tired after like 20 seconds just doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, how long do I gotta keep doing this?
I swear, him and Slick, dude.
Oh my god.
Underrated 1-2 combo, man. Underrated. So the match ends with the MegaPowers winning. Hogan was in trouble, so was Savage, but they figure a way out. Again, Hogan and Liz, Macho's beat up pretty bad at the end of the match. Hogan and Liz celebrate inside, and you see Savage start to get a little more pissy. He's pointing at Hogan. Hogan doesn't care. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, what's funny, I don't think on the network itself you see this. On the Coliseum video version of this, though, there is an interview in the backstage of Macho and Jesse Ventura, where Macho starts saying, I'm the real survivor. And, of course, Jesse goes, I smell a rat. Now, what's funny is that it's not on the network version, on the network at all. It's only on the Coliseum version.
I have never, because I don't do Coliseum video often. So, I never saw that. I never saw that interview.
That was the first. That was the first acknowledgement of something going on. Again, things are fine though in the end. But you hear Macho saying, I'm the sole survivor, this and that. He was pissy, of course, the whole thing. He didn't say, but Jesse was asking about the Macho, Hogan in the ring, whatever. Macho said, no problem, new business to attend to.
Yeah.
The new business, I'm sure, is investigating Hogan. So Macho Man now is Robert Mueller.
Basically.
Yeah. So
when are we gonna see the report?
Again, well, we're getting close to that now. And again, this is also another seed, a bigger seed though, because now you're starting to see Macho react in the ring. Although Hogan is not really, doesn't really there's no fight, but you see Macho pointing at Hogan while Hogan's has his hand up in the air with Liz and all that. But Macho is definitely pissed off. Again, nobody in the ring now, here's the funny thing about that too. None of the announcers acknowledge it in the moment, but it's backstage, which unfortunately is not on a network, but it's on a Coliseum video version where Macho starts saying, "I'm the sole survivor. I got new business to tend to," which means that's your clue there of the tension.
Yeah.
Coming up anyway. So now we get to 1989. How old are you in 1989 now, Ray, by the way?
I would be, my birthday's November, so by the time the calendar year enters, I would be 10.
I'll be turning 9 in May, so I'm still a ways away. By the way, I was watching all this in the moment, too, just for the record.
Yeah, I wasn't watching wrestling. I mean, I was still in the Philippines, so I didn't really get WWF very much.
I was in New York.
I was watching religiously, so.
Yeah, I remember all this stuff. I remember all this pretty much here. 89 especially is the year I really got into it heavily. So 1989, there is a Royal Rumble. The second Royal Rumble, but the first one on pay-per-view.
Yes. Hogan
accidentally eliminates Savage in the Rumble. There's a scuffle between the two.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're fine. Everything. Liz comes out, breaks up the two. Everything's fine. Macho says, "Shake my hand." Hogan does too, also. By the way, who won the Royal Rumble that day? Big John Studd.
Big John Studd.
Not even Hogan. Hogan got eliminated by Big Boss Man. So yeah. But again, another seed. Another seed ascension. Now it's it's gone from Liz to now all of a sudden the ego.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't add some notes here, but there were actually 2 incidents also in January '89.
Okay.
2 incidents. One was on Superstars, where Macho faced Akeem. Bossman came in, beat up Savage, this and that. Hogan comes and saves him. Macho wins by disqualification. But then you see Hogan posing. Macho picks up Bossman's nightstick. And he's behind Hogan. And you think he might hit him with it. And then Macho's like, with the nightstick, wondering what the hell I'm going to do. He turns around. Hogan comes behind him. He's like, "Come and pose with me. Everything's fine." There's also a Saturday Night Main Event earlier that month where Hogan's facing Akeem. See a pattern here? Akeem.
Yes.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
Akeem. On Saturday Night Main Event, Akeem and Hogan face each other. Bossman's in the corner of Akeem. Macho not in the corner, but will be backstage.
Right.
Hogan gets beat the hell up. He wins it by disqualification. Macho does not come out until Bossman and Akeem get Elizabeth handcuffed. And then you see Elizabeth helping Hogan, and Macho has a chair, drops a chair, and is asking why is he helping Hogan for. So again, more clues.
And I am justified with what Savage is doing. Like, I get why Savage would be like, "Hey, why are you helping him?" Right? So
he was hurt though.
Still,
Macho came out at the end of the match after the fact. He only came out after Liz was under attack. Not Hogan. Hogan got beat up with a nightstick, and Macho was in backstage watching on TV.
After all the scenes that happened, I don't blame Randy Savage at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So you have all this stuff happen in January. More clues. Royal Rumble. Main event. Superstars. So obviously it's picking up now.
It's coming up.
And now February 89. The main event.
Yeah.
MegaPowers versus Twin Towers. Macho accidentally gets thrown in the ring by Akeem. Obviously crushes Liz in the process. She gets hurt.
Liz took a hit on that one. She took a hit on that one.
Yes. Hogan takes Liz to the back. Leaves Macho to get beaten up by the Twin Towers. Combined weight 800 pounds. So that's a lot of weight there we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Hogan comes back. Savage slaps Hogan in the face. After trying to get a tag. Savage leaves Hogan back. Hogan comes and wins the match. And again, all hell breaks loose backstage. Hogan's like, "You cut me man for belt. I'll beat you 1, 2, 3." And of course, the MegaPowers break up. Savage hits Hogan with the belt. Elizabeth is like on a gurney, like trying to figure out what the hell's going on, this and that. Dude, dude, Macho was a better actor than Hogan. This is safe for the record.
Yeah, I mean, Savage was intense in that one.
Yeah.
I think wasn't there like a story about where they said that they weren't even counting down before Savage just went off or something on camera?
Yeah. There's actually a part also in the original version. Remember, this is live TV. This is live TV, not taped. Where Beefcake comes in earlier. Beefcake comes in early in the shot. Always Beefcake. Brutus the fucking bar Beefcake. Always ruining the shit. Brutus the fucking bar Beefcake. Always ruining the shit. Comes in the shot before it's supposed to. Savage, of course, punches him in the face. Hogan later on looking for Savage. And of course, obviously they're broken up, and this leads up to WrestleMania 5. Now, here's the thing about the breakup I love. Some of Macho's best promos were the lead up to this event.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can feel it. Like, I mean, you can just pretend that, hey, you're going after my girl. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's just something you can relate to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can just think about that, and then boom. Anything that's, like, basically nearly as real as it gets, like, those are the best promos.
Now, Macho's in the wrong here. Macho's a heel again, for the record. Hogan's still a face.
Yeah.
Macho's, his girls being taken from him. Macho's intensity of the promos is amazing, number one.
Yeah.
The intensity in the promos. Like, you almost feel like it's real. Like, hey, you really did my chick. What the fuck's your problem? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a heel again. By the way, let me ask you a question. Do you prefer Savage as a heel or as a face?
Heel would just get him to be that intense guy that, that doesn't care about anything. I definitely prefer heel Savage.
I like a little bit of both. There's something to be
I get that.
Face. I like face Savage in the later years. Not so much 88. Right. Because Savage as a calmer guy, like, Hulkamania is good for you, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
That's not who you are. In real life, that's not who you are. It took away from his character a little bit. The intensity is who you are. As a heel, you got that, and you got as a face only years later. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but yeah, MegaPowers breaking up. Hogan, obviously challenges for the title. Savage goes, and I am gonna think about it. Yeah, think about it. Of course, he says yes. We're gonna fight at Mania 5. There is one thing though. There's one big piece of thing to figure out. Which corner will Liz be in? And on Saturday Night Main Event in March of '89, she says that we'll be in a neutral corner.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that one in the moment?
10-year-old me. I don't know, like, because 10-year-old me wouldn't really understand, like, why she'd do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, Hulk's been a friend. And Randy's obviously the guy she's with, or at least implied. So yeah, I would get why she's torn about this.
Yeah, but again, this is the same guy that threw you across the freaking room a month before that.
Well, if you love the guy, sometimes you'll just take whatever, right? I mean, that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
A little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, I guess, but like...
What's funny though is Hogan treated Elizabeth better than Savage.
Well, much better than Randy Savage for sure, yeah.
But Savage was the guy. Savage is her guy, and yet she says to be in a neutral corner. Of course, he gets pissed off about that. Not very, very happy about the decision.
Obviously,
yeah. And
Yeah.
now we get to Mania 5. Of course, 30 years later, Hogan, Savage, Mania 5, the luster, not the Hulkster, the luster. According to Jesse Ventura.
Yes. Yes.
Some of Ventura's best work was in this event here in Mania 5. The luster. The pukester.
Yeah.
You hear those pukesters out there.
I mean, I've heard stories about, like, there's real heat between Ventura and Hogan. and I guess that's where it comes from. But
that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's where it comes out from.
One thing that bothered me too, and this happened one time also too during his reign, but it's actually bothered me that day. As a guy that's kind of like meticulous about stuff being in a proper order.
Yeah.
Macho was the first guy to the ring as a champion. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
A lot of us wrestling fans are just like, hey man, the champion should always be introduced last.
Yeah. Now there was one time in I want to say in October of '88 where Savage wrestled Andre. You guys should find it on the network. Where Savage came out first, but he decided on that because of strategy more than anything else.
Yeah. See,
I thought Macho should have been the first guy out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So he comes out, Hogan comes out second, Hogan wins the title. Here's something I will say, looking back in hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish Macho won this match.
It's funny because, as far as I understand, business was still going really well with Savage on top. And we've already seen Hogan on top for 4 years and a month, right?
Right.
So, looking back, it's like, man, he won it again? Jeez.
I feel like Vince, still in this era, was kind of short-sighted in a lot of ways. I feel like he could have gotten more juice out of this rivalry if Savage would have won.
Right.
Because Savage wins, Hogan, they meet again in SummerSlam '89. Rematch.
But it would also be unprecedented because at that point, every WrestleMania had a good ending. So if Savage won, it'd be a bad ending. And it didn't take until WrestleMania 2000 when the bad guy finally won the last match.
That's true. It took fucking that long. 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was Triple H, right? Yeah, Triple H.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know, but I always thought about this, and I know why he did it, because obviously the marketplace back then was good guy, bad guy. It was definitely lines are drawn. Of course, Hogan's still a good guy. You give him a title.
Yeah.
But I always wondered, what if Macho won the title? I feel like that storyline got more juice, because I feel like I looking back years later, I feel like 1989 was a letdown year for the WWF storyline wise. And it's shocking to say that because the talent on the roster at that point was tremendous. The tag team division was great. You had Hogan back, Macho was still Macho, Ultimate Warrior, all these characters. And yet, I feel like '89 was a letdown year. I feel like if Macho got a little more juice out of that title for a couple more months, and then say Savage would take the title in '89 in Mania 5, and then they had the rematch in SummerSlam or whatever event they put on between then, that would have been kind of creative too, in my opinion.
Yeah, again, unprecedented if the bad guy won at the last match of WrestleMania. So I definitely agree with you that they could have had something more out of this. And maybe even extend it to WrestleMania 6, where maybe, Hogan and Savage again. Hogan puts his career on the line probably at that point. Something like that,
Right.
So, of course, we may never know because Ultimate Warrior was already like, he was gaining momentum. Yeah, he was gaining momentum in '89, so.
Yeah. He was actually. I don't know, man. I feel like once this ended, it ended. Because, this rivalry technically extended another year, almost. But it wasn't really a rivalry at that point. What they did is they brought in Zeus.
Yeah.
And they brought in Beefcake.
Yeah.
And to me, they dumbed down the rivalry, in my opinion. It got too cartoonish.
And it's so funny because it's like, oh, so he beat me in the movie. Now I'm going to beat him in the ring. It's like,
it's stupid. Pretty silly. Looking back now, like in the moment, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
And by the way, because we talk about Zeus and Macho teaming up, and of course Hogan and Beefcake.
Yeah.
SummerSlam '89 was a letdown. If you think about it, you know that's a big event, and yet only one title on the line.
Yeah, I remember because I think the Brainbusters and the Heart Foundation was a non-title match.
Yes,
also.
It was.
Yeah. God, you're right. Yeah, only one title. Yeah.
Hogan's the champion, but he's stuck in a tag team match.
Yeah. They used to do that quite a bit back then. Yeah,
it made to me it made no sense. I mean, so basically, Warrior Rick Rude was the biggest match of the night. Really, think about it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Let's talk about Zeus's wrestling skills.
Oh, let's do that, please. Oh, lack of.
So it's a chop and
a chop.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's his move. And by the way, the only reason why I feel like it worked was because he had that little silver stuff on there. I thought it had spikes on it when I was a kid. I thought it had spikes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I must admit. Yeah,
he had the chop, and then he'll twist your head.
That's right. And even then, it's like, what?
I got nightmares when I was a kid.
I mean, the way he looked so menacing, though. He did look menacing. I'll say that. Like, he had the look.
He did.
But man, awful wrestler.
He had the side eye.
Oh man.
No,
we loved you on Friday, though. We loved you on Friday.
It's funny though. Like '89 was a good year for the company, but I feel like looking back though, like as a fan, as a guy who loves wrestling, especially old school, kind of a letdown year, honestly. Like mostly this second half of the year. I mean, the first half of the year, leading up to the MegaPowers exploding, all that was great.
Yeah.
But from that point on till the end of the year, kind of filler material, honestly. Like I'll be honest with you, the most exciting part of that year for the company, honestly, outside the Macho Hogan matchup in Mania 5, the tag team division was great. Yeah,
and the thing is, the tag team division was always great in the 80s until probably 91, 92 or whatever. Right. They were always stacked in the tag team division, and really they only had the only other time the tag team division was stacked was when the Attitude Era was around.
I mean, you had, I believe, was it 2? Yeah, it was 2 title changes. 3 title changes, actually. You had, 2. Demolition retained the titles in Mania 5. Okay, that for over a year. Loses the titles to Brainbusters in July that year. Okay. Yeah. And then the Brainbusters loses it back to Demolition, I believe, in November that year.
Yeah.
And then I think the Colossal Connection got the titles again, I think either in December or January of 90, I believe.
I watched that match.
Which one?
Real time. The Colossal Connection winning the titles.
Winning the titles?
Yeah, when Andre the Giant just dropped the elbow on Axe.
The only movie that night. Haku carried that whole match for them.
Haku did the entire match, and Andre the Giant came in and dropped an elbow on Axe, and that was it.
Yeah. He was done. Andre the Point was much on the end of his ropes.
Oh, yeah. We didn't know at the time, but yeah. Looking back, he looked done.
Yeah, he was done. It was done. So, okay, so you have SummerSlam 89, Macho, Zeus versus Hogan and Beefcake.
Yeah.
Macho carried that match. Macho and Hogan carried that match, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, looking back in hindsight, letdown. That's a letdown.
Because you're right. Yeah.
I feel like they cheated. I feel like they cheated Savage a little bit that year.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another Hogan era, and at the point we're just tired of Hogan, right? So
yeah, and I love Hogan for the record, but I mean, it's what it is. Of course, the last time they meet in this era was 1990. This is the main event in 1990, February 1990. It was Hogan versus Macho King.
Yes,
for the title, which is kind of weird because you already signed the Warrior Hogan match. So you mean tell me if Macho wins the title, it's Warrior Macho in Mania 6 instead of Hogan Warrior? That made no sense to me at the time.
And by the way, Mike Tyson was supposed to be the referee.
Yep.
But he got upset in Japan by one James Buster Douglas.
That's correct.
So Buster Douglas became the referee in that match.
That's correct. It's funny. Up until a couple years ago, you get to think I'm crazy. I actually had a TV guide. Physical copy. And in the TV guide, you see the promo for the main event, Macho King versus Hogan, and Mike Tyson is as referee. Enforcer, rather.
That's amazing.
I can't find it anywhere. My mom had it somewhere in the house. I gotta find it.
Yeah, you gotta find it, take a picture of it, put it on your social media stuff.
Dude. Yeah. I don't know. MegaPowers to me, like obviously we talk about Austin and McMahon being probably the greatest storyline ever.
Yeah,
I can argue this is as good if not better because, but I think what made the MegaPowers storyline special was again the subtleties, leading up to it. It was not obvious. And it literally, over a course of nearly 2 years, and you can argue even 2.5
Longer
years.
than that, yeah.
Yeah. Of this rivalry going back and forth.
And that's the thing that WWE should take away from, because again, planting the seeds, but not too much to the point where it's obvious. You just drop little hints here and there, don't talk about it, whatever, and then then you can look back. Oh, that's what was going on all along.
Right.
They don't do that. They don't do that anymore.
Right. Now, in the moment back then, obviously I was 8, 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old.
Right.
In that era, I was a Hogan. I love Macho, but Hogan was number one for me. And I took Hogan's side the whole time.
Right.
If I was 18, if you were 18 years old this time, who would you take? Side you would taken?
Oh man, yeah, I'd probably take Hogan because
still Hogan.
I would have something against jealous guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? I can kind of understand Macho's side, but at the same time, it's dude, what's your problem? I'm just being a friend. You know what I mean? So I'd probably take Hogan's side.
Now, what if you're 28 years old?
40-year-old me would probably still take Hogan.
Really?
I get it. I get where Hogan's coming from. I definitely get where Savage's coming from, but he's going about it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, another thing they don't show on the network, but you can find on YouTube, after Mania 5, which is great. You see Macho and Liz in the backstage after the match, and Macho literally is chastising Elizabeth for distracting him during the match, which is bullshit. But
yeah, and
Macho's fucking pissed off. Meanwhile, you see, it's funny. It starts up with Sensational Sherry actually first approaching Liz, and then Macho comes out, of course, and what do we have here? Yeah, you distracted me right there, You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
again, another tease, because eventually 2 weeks later, Sherry will be Macho's manager.
One more thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that Honky Tonk match and Randy Savage match include Peggy Sue?
Correct, and I believe she was Peggy Sue.
Exactly.
I believe she was. I can't confirm that right now in the moment, but I believe she was. I've heard many times.
I believe she was Peggy Sue. Yeah.
She was great. Peggy Sue was great.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying, it's funny how things work out sometimes.
Of course, yes. But that again, clues. You see Sherry, and Hogan comes out, of course, saves Liz, because Macho's about to hit backhand Liz's left hand. Hogan comes and saves her, and then Macho hits her with a chair by Sherry holding Hogan. It was crazy. But again, you don't see that in the network. That's on the, again, Coliseum home video.
Oh man, so 90s.
So 90s, so 80s, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So
I'm disappointed in myself that I never owned a Coliseum home video from WWF.
Ever?
So, no, never.
You
borrowed them, but never owned them. So
I stole them. I stole some actually from old video stores.
You stole from Blockbuster or The Warehouse or Sam Goody or something?
Not even. Well, yes, but also remember back in the days they had those old mom and pop stores?
Yeah, of course.
I would take them and not return them.
Mm-hmm.
That was so bad, dude. That was so fucking bad. Yeah. Costco was the best, man. And now a lot of those videos now are on the network now too. Slowly going on the network. I mean, I wish they put more stuff on there, man. I'm waiting for Vince and them to put all the wrestling challenges on there from 88, 87, 89, all that. I'm waiting for it to happen.
Man, these kids have it good these days, man. Seriously,
guys, bro.
Everything's in one place. But for us back then, we had to trudge through whichever video store we can find and rent or buy it.
Makes you appreciate what we went through.
Yeah, definitely.
It really does.
Yeah.
I know. Again, MegaPowers to me the second or maybe the best storyline in history. What would you rank the MegaPowers storyline?
It's really tough. It's definitely an all-timer, but obviously you mentioned Austin McMahon. Austin Bret Hart was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Bret versus Shawn was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely top 3, top 5. I'll have to look back, but it's definitely an all-timer for sure.
It's better than the Godwins against the
headbangers. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was definitely an all-timer, man. I mean, again, the MegaPowers and it is the whole thing. It really. I don't think they've ever been. Have they ever had a storyline like this copied in any point?
As a love triangle
kind of thing.
No,
No, I don't think so.
no, I don't think so. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I think there was like a different sort of like Trish Stratus story with Chris Jericho and Christian in like the early 2000s.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, and that ended up being Trish turning heel instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a little bit different. But anything like that where they're fighting over the girl, yeah.
It didn't have the juice. And I think what made it so great, it was more than just Liz. It was the ego.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though Macho had it all, Macho had the title and the girl.
Yeah.
Hogan was still the number one guy in the company.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what made it special. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like it was like mid Carter's, going at it. It was literally the biggest guy in the company, and the champion who has the girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, that dynamic was. I mean, you can't really replicate that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll ever have that sort of story ever again.
Hell no.
Considering, no. Although I would love to see like a women's version where they fight over a guy. That'd be great.
Oh Lord, who would be that?
I don't know.
Who would today be that person?
But we know everything now, so I'm not even sure if that works.
No,
right?
It wouldn't work.
We know too much.
We know for 2 weeks. It worked for 2 weeks, and that's it.
Yeah.
2 weeks. So anyway, Ray, that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
That was really fun, brother.